by biology and anatomy like you're a woman.
But
You
as
know,
it
and that's
as
why
it
I
relates to this,
respect Trump
Donald
for
Trump can't do
recognizing
fuck all about that. Donald Trump, there's nothing that Donald Trump can do about that, and there's nothing that Donald Trump should be able to do about that because it's not Donald Trump's job to do anything like that. Medical decisions like that should be between you, your direct circle, and your doctor, and that's it. That's really all these decisions should be between. I don't know why we're saying that. Oh well, did you consult this 80-year-old by chance? If you want to see more content like this, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Rinyald. And if you disagree with anything in the video, make sure you join the Discord and we can have a chat sometime.
How you doing?
How's it going, buddy?
So I just want to start off. This is your platform. Why do you think Trump is terrible?
I think Donald Trump.
Claim.
I think Donald Trump hates a lot of the institutions that built America, and I really, really value the institutions that built America, like democracy or freedom of speech. I think that Donald Trump views the Constitution or rule of law as a stepping stone or a roadblock in furthering his policy. I don't think he actually views our American values as something to guide him. I think he views it as like something like a caution sign that he has to swerve out of the way of. And I think he's just generally been super, super ineffective. Like, I don't think he is a good leader. I think he constantly inflames rhetoric. It seems like he's really dog shit at passing legislation when he doesn't have the entire government on his side. He's just not very good at his job.
Okay, I respect your opinion. I disagree. What is your stance on illegal immigration?
I think that our immigration laws need to be enforced. But I also think our immigration processes are really, really bad. The left had an actual concrete piece of legislation that they wanted to pass through, but Donald Trump wanted to shoot it down in order to preserve it as an election issue. Donald Trump has no actual real plan to address any of the problems with the immigration system. He just wants to invoke emergency powers to look really good and then kick the can down the road for the next presidency.
Well, to be fair, he did offer the people who are here quote unquote free plane ticket home with a chance to come back legally, where you won't get penalized for it if you turn yourself in versus yourself getting caught and now you have a misdemeanor, and if they choose to pursue a felony, then that's that. But yeah, I don't actually need a lot
realistically, do you think if any illegal immigrant turned themselves into the government and said, hey, I'm here illegally, that they wouldn't be deported?
No, they will be. They leave, but they have a chance to come back legally where they're not penalized, and it can affect their chances of coming back legally. I'm a first generation immigrant. You know what I mean? So like, it was really hard to come here, and it's just a spit in my face. But for the people who think they can skip the line, but what would you say your political party is?
We live in a two-party system, and I think the Republicans are off the fucking deep end. So I'm going to generally vote for Democrats because I think they're better. But I don't think that I don't like identifying myself as a Democrat because having a super strong tie to a political ideology, like a party line, is probably not good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I've never really spoke to anybody on the left, Democrats on the left, like that can really say, okay, anti-immigration is a problem since Obama. My thing is, even people who are not Republicans or somewhere in the middle on the left, a lot of people did vote for Trump. Trump was the first Republican to win the popular vote, I'm pretty sure, since Reagan. You know, and that's a big part of that is because you see Barack Obama, Democrat, very, very left, but he was so pro-immigration. I mean, pro deporting illegals, keeping pro secure borders, all this. He was very
so was Joe Biden, but
I disagree.
No, I think it's all just a messaging problem. I think that Donald Trump won the messaging war, and inflation was a really, really hard hurdle to climb for the Democrats. So it was like almost an unwinnable. COVID, I guess. Yeah, it was like an almost unwinnable election for the Democrats. And people just have nostalgia glasses. They don't remember how fucking bad Donald Trump's first term was, especially when he refused to leave office at the end of it. It's really bad.
I support Trump, but I cannot support J6. But another thing is, a lot of this was fear mongering. I cannot lie. Like, I'm not a yes man to nobody. You know what I'm saying? I speak my mind. The Second Amendment thing, that was a big thing for me because I myself am a gun owner. I'm not a low life. I'm not somebody who goes and they use these things to hurt people. You know, I want to protect my family. You know, I want to be armed against my government, so they're forced to respect limits. All that. They're saying they just want to ban guns outright. And my argument to that, if you ban guns today, we would have gun violence for the next 2 decades. You know, and the only people that aren't going to have guns
Mhm.
are the people who actually want to use them for the right thing. And another thing, we ban guns, our government can do whatever the hell they want. You know what I'm saying? If a Republican gets elected, since they think they're so radical, they can just do whatever the hell they want.
I mean,
And
they
another
can
thing,
basically do whatever the fuck they want right now. I mean, like we've been seeing Donald Trump make crazy grabs for executive power,
yes, but
like
it
these
gets worse.
crazy unprecedented grabs,
If you think that's
like
bad, it gets
constant.
worse.
I understand it gets worse, but also like all of the Second Amendment people say like, oh, we need these guns to protect us against tyranny. They support this. They literally like I think in most cases they support tyranny. I mean, like federalizing the National Guard over the governor of Chicago, like invoking the Alien Enemies Act, which is literally
I
I think
agree
the last time it was used
with the
was World
national.
War II. Like this is Donald Trump is tyrannical. If there's any person that's going to at least tip the hat of Second Amendment people, be like, hey, this is getting kind of crazy, it should be that. And I'm not saying that we should do anything fucking crazy. Like, I'm not saying Donald Trump would. He said that maybe the Second Amendment people could do something about Hillary Clinton. I wouldn't say that because I actually give a fuck about political violence. I think political violence is bad. But if
Oh, yeah.
fighting against tyranny was like a real value that the Second Amendment people had, then they would be against Donald Trump right now, at the very least. But they all voted for him because they fell for it. They got brainwashed into supporting tyranny. He literally, I can't restate this enough. Donald Trump tried to steal the last election. All right. I don't know how much more tyrannical you can get than actually like stealing elections to entrench yourself with this crazy power and invoking like giant executive overreaches with invocations of emergencies, which are bullshit and get shot down like 90% of the time.
I see. I tell these people all the time. I'm not pro Don. I'm pro Trump. Because right now he's in the 2024 election. He was in my viewing. He was the best candidate. He was the best option. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And another big thing is, you know, I plan on. I know a lot of us. We plan on starting families. You know, we plan on having kids.
Mm-hmm.
And a big thing for me, I'm a Christian man,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people don't agree with this, but it's their stance on. I don't hate gay people. I don't. Honestly, I respect them. I
Bad way to
respect gay
start.
people a lot. I respect gay people. I do not respect trans. But the
Uh-huh.
trans people I do respect are what's his name? What is his name? Jeffree Star or something?
I don't even think Jeffree Star is trans, but okay.
He's something. He dresses up like a girl, but he says, you know, I dress the way I am, I act the way I do, you know, I'm feminine, but
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day I'm still a man. And I
So
think that when you really convince I'm sorry. When you really can just tell somebody to their face, yeah, you think you're a woman. That's cool for you, but then when it becomes an influence on children, that's when was my problem. So I want to know your take on that.
I mean, trans people, all right. I have no idea. It seems like the medical consensus on trans people is like super touchy and wishy washy, and it changes super quickly because we only really started looking into this kind of shit fairly recently. But I think realistically, you know, if you have gender dysphoria, seems like the best way to lower your suicidality is by allowing this person to transition both socially and medically. That seems like the best way to deal with these kinds of things. I don't understand why we wouldn't want to lower this person's suicidality if that's what it takes. And these like the framing as if one, that it's even a bad thing to let people transition, but two, that it's the that's such a big deal. It is such a big deal that trans people can transition that even though Donald Trump can't even do shit about it, he doesn't have power to do fuck all about it. It's just we elected this person who hates our country just because he's going to signal against trans people. I think that's insane. And it's not even close to a big enough issue, even if I granted like your framing where like they're just mentally ill, we're reinforcing their mental illness. Even granted that, there's probably like what, a couple thousand in the country period. And
I think a lot more.
we're using that to justify electing like this actual tyrant is
It's
insane. That's insane to me. Especially
it's
when
more of a values thing to me. You know,
sure, but
it's a that you're affirming it.
your values are only
And if you
valuable.
look at the suicide rates, like they still commit, you know, like even after transition, and
Sure,
even
but
if you do
it's
transition,
less. It's less though. And the
I bet.
I would also say like your values insofar as voting for the president are only valuable if you think that the president can actually do anything about it. Like I
What he
personally
can do, he can make it. illegal to influence children. Once you're
No, he
above the
can't.
age of 18, I
He
don't
can't
care.
do that. Donald Trump cannot do that. That's not a
Is
presidential
it-
power. You would need a bill through Congress, and I don't even know if Congress could do that because I think that would be left to the states. So if you want to vote for like a red legislature in your state, or if you want to vote for a red governor in your state, that's fine. Donald Trump can't do fuck all about anything trans wise. There's a reason that the only executive order that he signed was basically only in regard to like identification practices for people within the federal agencies.
and it's now illegal to transition if you're under the age of 18.
I don't even think that's true. And I okay, what did Donald Trump do?
He signed an
What
EO when he first got elected
yeah,
about that, where they
an
only
executive
recognize
order
it.
can't make it illegal to it can't make anything illegal. That's not what executive orders do.
Well, they put it in motion.
Putting it in motion doesn't mean anything. The only way you could put that in motion is if you proposed a
Would
bill to
you agree with that?
Congress.
Would you agree with that law if it was put in place?
It depends on what you're defining as transition. Like, it seems like puberty blockers are probably fine. So I probably, if you're counting puberty blockers, I probably
I think
wouldn't.
puberty blockers it's because you can you can be a man, right? And you can feel, because when you're going through puberty, you're already going through all these hormones where you
Mm-hmm.
like you hate yourself sometimes. You feel like you're in the wrong body, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like something like that's irreversible. It's like, come on,
Sure,
you can't
puberty
do that.
blockers don't seem irreversible. I would probably say that if you're under 18, you shouldn't be getting anything irreversible. I agree.
I say, put on the dress. It just don't. You can't really be convinced that you're actually like by biology and anatomy, like you're a woman.
But
And that's
as
why
it
I
relates
respect
to this,
some people
Donald Trump
recognize
can't do
that.
fuck all about that. Donald Trump, like, there's nothing that Donald Trump can do about that, and there's nothing that Donald Trump should be able to do about that because it's not Donald Trump's job to do anything like that. I think if like medical decisions like that should be between you, your direct circle, and your doctor, and that's it. That's really all these decisions should be between. I don't know why we're saying that. Oh well, did you consult this 80-year-old by chance? Like, why the fuck does Donald Trump matter in this? Like,
Well, I
Donald
mean,
Trump
half the
doesn't
country
know a
voted
trans
for
person's
that.
brain better than a trans person.
I think it's classified as like a mental illness. I wouldn't say the same for gay.
Can be.
Gay is in a biblical sense, it is sin, but not everybody follows the word of God. So you cannot make a law about that. You can't ban gay marriage. It's just, I don't align with that. Whatever. And I had one more thing I wanted to ask.
Mhm.
I really don't remember.
That's okay.
Shit. Um yeah, I'm not gonna be able to remember. It was a good debate with you.
All right. All right. Love you,
Have a
buddy.
good night.
Yep, you too.